Welcome to Z's and Threes. And your boy is back in the building, in the country, long break vacation-wise, but we are officially back. What has happened since we last spoke? Well, the Mavs franchise has been stripped to the studs. The Celtics threw some brakes on the Lakers' hype train with a LeBron James injury looming. The Knicks without Jalen Brunson for an extended period of time. Under 20 games to go for some teams in the regular season that ends 5 weeks from Sunday. We are back, refreshed, ready for the stretch run. Appreciate all the love for the first episode of the Signature Sneaker Showdown. If you haven't checked it out, please do. Episode 2 is coming your way Thursday, and every Thursday for the remainder of the regular season as we crown a Signature Sneaker champ. Stay tuned for the matchup. Question lingering after today's games. Are Cleveland and Oklahoma City getting the proper amount of respect, commensurate with their conference leading records? Big games for both today. We will get into that and the remainder of the 8-game slate. Before we do, if you like the show, please do like and subscribe. Give us 5 stars if you're listening on pod. Share with a friend to stay in the know for the NBA as we gear up for the playoff push. Let's get it. Group chat. Games of the day, both number ones, Eastern Conference, Cleveland Cavaliers, Western Conference, Oklahoma City in action. Good opponents as well. Cavs entered the day a full game ahead of the Thunder for the best record in the NBA. And the story in both games, very similar. Let's start with Cleveland, another double-digit win streak. They enter the game against Milwaukee on. It was a baker's dozen, 13 prior. In the evening, they were in Milwaukee, taking on the Bucks. A 5-point game, 8:55 left, but the Cavs close on a 23-7 run. The Cavs bench continues to show why they are the best in the league. 43 points from their bench, a big reason why they have the best record in the league. Starters all with double digits as well. Team high 17 from Max Strus, a game high 30 for Giannis, but not enough as the Cavs win 112-100. They sweep the season series against the Bucks, making it 14 consecutive wins for the Cavs. I believe they have 2 15-game win streaks on the season. 110 plus points across the last 14 Cleveland has won. That is tied for the longest streak in NBA history. Earlier in the day, Oklahoma City, having won 6 games in a row themselves, third meeting of the season against the Denver Nuggets. Both teams with 1 apiece in the season series much earlier in the season, part of a back-to-back this game as the teams will get together on Monday, both games in Oklahoma City. This was a 5-point game, advantage OKC with 9:06 left before a sequence of an Oklahoma City steal on what could have potentially been a foul of Russell Westbrook. It finished with a Chet Holmgren dunk that drew the ire of Nuggets head coach Michael Malone, who received a technical foul. The Thunder pushed the lead to 12. Nuggets cut it to 8, but the Thunder closed on a 24-7 run, eerily similar to the 23-7 run of the Cavs. Thunder win the first of 2 in 2 days, 127-103. The scoring barrage from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander continues. 40 points on 15 of 32 shooting, an ethical 8 free throw attempts given the usage rate. J-Dub chips in 26 points himself. Thunder have 14 blocks in the game. I'm sure none of them were fouls. An incredibly well-officiated game. Nikola Jokic, 24, 13, and 9 after making NBA history Friday night against Phoenix with his 31, 21, and 22. Teams run it back on Monday. House shoes, we will discuss why it feels like both of these teams doing historic things still have a heavy serving of doubt for their championship aspirations. Rest of the slate, 6 other games to get to. The most exciting, the one you probably missed because you were asleep. That's what Z's and Threes is all about. You sleep, I peep. Go out to LA. Sacramento against the LA Clippers. A massively important game in the play-in mix. The Clippers had a half-game lead over the Kings entering the night. Both teams, 29 losses, so a chance for the Kings to win the positioning battle. Clutch time, we would find ourselves, that's 5 points under 5 minutes in regulation. 92-88, Kings lead, 2:38 left. Kawhi Leonard, rough night We'll get to him later, though. Can't cash a three. Keegan Murray does on the other side. It becomes 95-88. 2:18 left. Clips get it to a bucket after an Ivica Zubac dunk. 97-95. Now 65 seconds left. Misses on both sides. Clippers get the ball. There's 22.2 left, down 2. James Harden going to work. Harden in his volume 9s. Check out the Signature Sneakers Showdown. I talked about the Harden 9s. They are a good shoe. His floater, good to tie the game. So now 11.9 left in regulation. Zach LaVine gets a great look off the dribble, working on Chris Dunn. It's a fadeaway for the win. Nope. Overtime we go. Under a minute in overtime. An interesting situation where the shot clock was reset when it should not have been. DeMar DeRozan made a jumper that they then had to review the officials to see if it would have counted. They count down the seconds on the clock, and it did fall within what would have been the time left on the clock. So 108-107, Sacramento's lead at this point. 39.7. Harden immediately comes back, goes to the rack, another floater, Clips go up 1. DeRozan charges back in his hometown, draws the shooting foul, makes both. It's now 110-109. Kings lead. Ball's in Kawhi Leonard's hands. As mentioned, a rough shooting night for Kawhi. Would think Tyronn Lue, he's out, was not head coaching for the game, back injury. So, what does he decide to do? No James Harden, gives it to Kawhi Leonard. Rocks the clock down, goes to work, backs down Keegan Murray, left-handed turnaround for Kawhi. It bounces off the rim, and it falls after the buzzer in classic Kawhi fashion. Watching it live, it reminded me so much of the playoffs. Obviously not the magnitude, but the ball was bouncing as the buzzer hit. Clippers win 111-110. 17, but a game winner for Kawhi Leonard. He shot 7 of 19, 1 of 7 from 3, 29, 9, and 11 from Harden, 22 points, 14 rebounds from Ivica Zubac. It best the 31 of DeRozan and the 30 from Zach LaVine. Memphis, New Orleans down in the Big Easy. The Grizzlies last week were on a 4-game slide, their longest losing streak of the season, taking them out of the battle for the 2 seed in the West, a spot that they had held down for the majority of the last couple months. So coming off a win against the Mavs, what would they do against the Pelicans? 7-point Pelican lead at the half, but a 32-15 third quarter for the Grizzlies changed all that. 10-point Memphis lead starting the fourth. Pelicans, though, would take the lead back. 7 lead changes, 3 ties in the game. Ja Morant, up and down season for Ja. Still haven't unboxed his kicks. They're somewhere back here. He's part of the Signature Sneaker Showdown. He struggled with availability across the regular season via injury. He showed out in the fourth in this game. 11 points, 61% of the team's scoring in the fourth. 32 points in the game. It tied a season high. He had a jumper with 50.8 left that put Memphis up 6. The Pelicans did have 2 chances to send it to overtime. Down 3, Jose Alvarado and Kelly Olynyk couldn't find net. Grizzlies prevail 107-104. Let's go up to the Pacific Northwest. It was Bill Walton night in Portland with the Detroit Pistons in the house. Good matchup between 2 young teams. Pistons on a 2-game slide, trying to push into that 4 seed. That is home court to start the playoffs in the East. With Milwaukee's loss, an opportunity, got it right that time, to make up some ground. Detroit, they build an 18-point lead late in the third quarter, but an 18-7 Blazers run makes it much more interesting in clutch time. 3-point Pistons lead. Blazers get 3 looks to tie it up. Reith, no good. Toumani Camara, more on him later, no good. And Shaedon Sharpe, no good. Cade Cunningham gets fouled on the other end, makes both free throws. Detroit, 5-point lead. Anthony Simons goes for a quick drive. He's hammered at the rim, finishes through the contact, back to a 3-point game. It would be about free throws from there on out. Detroit made them, secured the W. 119-112 final. Detroit, winners of 3 in a row. 28 from Cade, 18 points, 12 rebounds from Jalen Duren, doing work for your boys' fantasy team. Let's go. 20 points, 9 rebounds from Tobias Harris. Another completely poorly officiated contest. 16 combined free throws. Help us, please, basketball gods. This is not ethical. Let's stay in the West. San Antonio Spurs, Minnesota Timberwolves. Wolves winners of their last 4, fully healthy again. Rudy Gobert back after a 10-game absence. Make it 5 in a row as a wire-to-wire victory over the Spurs, 141-124. 7 players in double figures, led by Edwards, 25. Naz Reid chipped in 20 himself, a double-double for Julius Randle. 14 points, 10 assists, a season high point-scoring-wise for the Wolves. What do we make of the Minnesota Timberwolves? This is a team that's been up and down all season. They were healthy for the majority of the start and couldn't seem to put it together, and then battled injuries with Randall, DiVincenzo, and Gobert out. But are they sleepers potentially in the West, battling with the Warriors for the final guaranteed playoff spot in the 6? More on that come standings. Phoenix, Dallas. You want to talk playoffs? Does anyone want that 10th and final spot in the West? The Mavs, we know why, but they've been losers of their last 4, down to 7 players in this game at one point. The Suns, they are 3-7 over their last 10. It was a full game swing at stake with the Mavs 2.5 ahead entering the game that had 7 lead changes, 4 ties. The Suns bench was the difference. Haven't said that very much this season. That has been the Achilles heel of the Suns. 41 points from the bench, 17 from Grayson Allen. Plumlee with 13, team high 24 from Devin Booker. 125-116, the Suns win. Mavs, their struggles continue. They finished the game, as mentioned, with just 7 players. So can the Suns catch them and get that last play-in spot? The difference is now a game and a half. Jason Kidd, Mavs head coach. Tough month for Jason Kidd. He said after this, quote, "I've never seen this. Can't take someone out to rest them because we have no one to put in." Maybe you should phone up your general manager. Let's go to lottery land to close it out. Utah against the Philadelphia 76ers in a battle of capture the flag. Yes, Cooper Flag. Sixers forget that the game starts. The Jazz go up 16 in the first quarter. I swear, this is the NBA now. This is the way that it works. It's a wild lead swing alert. The Sixers wake up and they swing the lead cumulatively 38 points. They lead by 22. They win the game 126-122. 25 points apiece from Quentin Grimes and Lonnie Walker, the fourth, who is back from Europe balling in the NBA. So how would all of that 8 games gumbo into the updated standings? The Cavs now a full game up on the Thunder for the best record in the league race. The Pistons win and the Bucks loss has Detroit 2 losses behind. The wins are even for those 2 teams in the fight for 4th in the East. The Pacers sandwiched in between. Remember, the 4th spot is the final home playoff host come playoffs. Pistons, best story in the NBA. No argument there. Nuggets lost. Let's go to the West. Their loss drops them behind the Lakers. Lakers obviously not in action. 2 through 5 in the West currently goes Lakers, Nuggets, Grizzlies, Rockets. I'm not going to break that out any further because there are lots of games remaining amongst the 4, so your guess is as good as mine. But that is 4 trying to go into 3 home court playoff positions. Wolves win has them a win ahead, but a loss behind the Warriors for the battle for 6, which is the final guaranteed playoff position. The season series, if you were wondering, I got you. 3-1 in favor of the Warriors. Golden State Warriors, not the Oklahoma City Warriors. Clippers pulling out their win in overtime gives them a game and a half of pad now over the Kings. And if you're wondering there is one more left in the regular season between the 2. That is on April 11th, the final weekend of the regular season. Heavy Pour, leading score of the night, presented by Portland Water. Visit them at drinkpdxwater.com. Order some water. They'll ship it to you. You stay hydrated. Everybody wins. 40 points from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Dunk of the night. Oh my. If you want to sponsor Dunk of the Night, get it your boy. Emails down below in the comments. To Monty Kamara. If you haven't watched the Blazers, and I don't fault you if you haven't, because they started out the season very slow. Looked as if Chauncey Billups may not make it through the season, but then they found some vigor, some fight, and went on a nice little win streak. And a big reason is one of the best young players and young defenders as well in the league, Toumani Camara. But boy, he got loose tonight in the air, dunked all over the head of Isaiah Stewart, one of the hardest per the Blazers. The Blazers have an analytics portion of the broadcast where Tom Habistro, if you are familiar, he's an analytics guy, comes in and will break things down. If you're not familiar with the dunk score, this dunk score ranked outrageous as one of the best on the season. Toumani Camara, a dangerous thing to do, too, on beef stew. Isaiah Stewart does not take lightly, but what a dunk it was from Camara on Stewart. Performance of the night or the day, I'm going to go with James Harden. 29, 9, and 11, as mentioned, in a necessary win for his Clippers. What do we make of the other team in LA playing in their new digs? Check this out real quick. An 8-1 Clippers OKC matchup in the first round, that wouldn't have some major intrigue. The experience of the Clippers being veterans with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. Kawhi Leonard just got titles to his name against the lack of for Oklahoma City. More on that in house shoes. The team that traded SGA, the Clippers, to OKC against Kawhi and Harden. Harden battling J-Dub, both players wearing the Harden Volume 9s. Yeah, let's get it. I'm in it for a 1-8 OKC Clippers first round matchup. News and injuries coming out today. LeBron James, he was injured in that Saturday night loss against Boston. And the Lakers anticipating he will be out not days but weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, similar to an injury that he sustained in the 2019 season that caused him to miss 17 games. Lakers have 6 games in the next 8 days. So even if it's a 1-week timetable, pretty significant. 2 of those games are against the Denver Nuggets, the team that they are battling for position-wise within the West. LeBron, maybe he'll use some of that time to just mean mug Stephen A. Smith from the sideline. Rockets, some injury news on their sensational sophomore Amen Thompson, a 10 to 14 day timetable on a left ankle sprain. A horrible weekend for left ankles. Jalen Brunson, a terrible ankle injury in that game against the Lakers in LA. House shoes. Got some Jordan 1 black toes. Shout out my folks over at Jordan Brand. Sent me a care package while I was out of the country. Very nice to come home to. That's why I got the Jordan hat on. I got the Jordan shirt. I even got some Jordan pants. And that's why I put on the Jordan 1s to talk 1 seeds. Cleveland Cavaliers and Oklahoma City Thunder. And do they deserve more respect? And what is respect in this day and age in the NBA? The media dialogue and the conversation I think so many people are fed up with, because these teams are doing historic things. And there are players doing historic things on these teams and throughout the league, but yet you turn on the major media partners of the league, and what are they talking about? I don't know. You can go watch them. But I would assume that you're locked in here to Z's and Threes because you want elevated basketball dialogue around the NBA. So do Cleveland and Oklahoma City deserve more respect? Well, let's start with the Cleveland Cavaliers, because this is a team that continues to push the pace and set the bar in terms of record. They seem as if they will finish with the best record in the league. Oklahoma City could catch them, but Cleveland doesn't seem as if they're going to slip up. They have an absolutely stacked roster that they bolstered by getting DeAndre Hunter as well to join the fold. Donovan Mitchell leading the charge. Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, what he is doing. I saw the stat tonight. I think he's second in plus minus. Candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. Jarrett Allen bolstering their front line with their rim protection, but they can come at you in so many ways. Max Strus was their leading scorer tonight. They beat the Bucks. They have everybody, it feels like, scores in double figures. Their starters did. Their bench comes in big. Strus scores 17 points. The Cavs, though, what they lack, which is similar to Oklahoma City, is championship meddle. There is not a single player on that roster that has won a title or a single contributor. Maybe I'm forgetting someone, but pretty well versed in the NBA. But it's experience. And for Oklahoma City, it's the exact same thing. This is a young team, one of the youngest in the league. This also is a group that hasn't been out of the second round together. Last year, got dispatched by the Dallas Mavericks in the semifinals in 6 games, albeit a very close series, but they've yet to be in a conference finals, let alone to contest for an NBA championship, as it gets more and more difficult with each round as it progresses. So it's experience that both of these teams lack. I would think that the player that has the most experience across the two, Donovan Mitchell, he has been on Jazz teams that have advanced far into the playoffs, but he still hasn't gotten to that final step of competing for an NBA championship. And look, there's still plenty of time to go for both of these teams, but they should be talked about more for what they are doing. I know that it's not the sexiest of markets to talk about Cleveland or to talk about Oklahoma City. Teams have already played one another as well, so showcasing those matchups, it's already happened. But the respect is something that you earn. And they're earning it by all means in everything that they're doing within the regular season. But the respect in the NBA, we all know, is earned in the postseason. So if Cleveland and Oklahoma City want to continue to be talked about come playoff time, well, it's quite easy. Do what they've been doing all regular season, and that's win ball games. Man, felt good to be back and keep y'all updated on what's going on in the NBA. That was Sunday. What to watch Monday. There are 12 games. It is a packed night, but not a ton of juicy matchups. Nuggets Thunder, their rematch, who will take the season series 2-1 in favor of OKC right now. Mavs Spurs to see who Dallas can suit up. Do they have more than 7 players? The Warriors trying to make it 5 in a row, hosting the Blazers on the travel back-to-back. Knicks Kings, what do the Knicks have without their leader in Jalen Brunson? If you haven't yet, check out the Signature Sneaker Showdown. First episode dropped last week. Episode 2 is coming on Thursday and every Thursday for the remainder of the regular season. If you miss anything, as always, season 3s, we got you. If you like the show, please like, subscribe, share with a friend. We will see you back here tomorrow. Peace.